It's a good morning to you. Welcome to Asake Online. My name is Zenzele Ndebele, and this is the Breakfast Club. So today in our show, we have a guest, and she is Rebecca Archer-Knepper. Did I get it right?
Absolutely, you got it right.
She's the public diplomacy officer at the U.S. Embassy in Harare. And yes, we were not paid to do the show, and we are not extension of the West, and we are not puppets of the West, but we are having a genuine discussion. And those who feel, offended, otherwise, none of my business, but let's get going. So today we want to talk about what the diplomacy affairs or the cultural affairs in the U.S. Department does. I mean, we have had a lot of things, we have had a lot of talk, but we're just having them here so that we discuss with them. We hear some of the projects that are going on. We hear how our young people are benefiting and how they can benefit, what opportunities they have. And it's quite interesting from what I've been reading that they're doing a number of projects that we hardly talk about. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
Yeah. So maybe my first question to you is, you've been here for less than a month.
Just over a month and a day. Very exciting stuff.
So what have been your initial impressions?
First of all, it's a gorgeous country. I'm really excited to be here. But beyond just the beauty of the country, the beauty of the people, I have met so many fascinating, talented, incredible people since I have been here, working in all kinds of fields, media, the arts, academia, entrepreneurship. There are so many amazing young people doing incredible work. Zimbabwe's people are really, I think it's maybe greatest treasure.
I know your section is supporting a lot of cultural projects and education, but what are some of the projects that you do here in Zimbabwe that you've been able to see in the time that you've been here?
So very many projects. One of the reasons that brought me down to Bulawayo was our Ambassadors Fund for Cultural Preservation. We're currently funding 3 projects to preserve Zimbabwe's culture and patrimony, so Zimbabwe and the rest of the world can enjoy it. We have a large project going on at Great Zimbabwe to monitor and document the site, to rebuild some walls that have crumbled over the years, and to remove an invasive species of weed that is threatening the structure. So we visited there on Sunday. On Monday, I went over to the Nalitale site, where we funded a restoration project there several years ago, and are working now on the whole Nalitale cluster. So working with the government and World Monuments Fund to document the site, as well as the other sites around Nalitale, to document them, look about restoration plans. And we are also funding a field school that is happening out at the Zinjanja ruins, where students from 4 universities here in Zimbabwe are learning about how to do a site survey, how to develop a conservation plan, how to do some basic dry stone restoration. So there's some beautiful things. Later today, I get to go out to see the painted houses, so I'm very excited about that. So beyond the cultural heritage of the past, we're looking at a lot of supporting lots of arts people in the creative industries that are up and coming. We are excited about the release of our Bluff Hill Jams, a series of concerts between somebody at the U.S. Embassy and up-and-coming Zimbabwean musicians. So the final recordings are today, and in the next several weeks, we look forward to seeing those out. The United States is anxious to see more Zimbabwean culture. There are so many talented artists across all fields: the arts, the plastic arts, performing arts, fashion, music, everything in between. And the United States would love to have more Zimbabwean artists. So we are working with some of these up-and-coming artists to see if we can get them on platforms in the United States. We are working on a program to coordinate and exchange with a US band and some local musicians to learn about songwriting, about collaboration. So there are lots of opportunities, and the United States definitely welcomes the opportunity to engage more with Zimbabwean artists.
You know, you've mentioned quite an important two areas. This is music and also preservation of monuments and cultural sites. Zimbabwe is one of those areas with lots of monuments. The other time I was just looking at a book that looks at monuments in Zimbabwe, and I discovered that there are over 120 monuments. Of course, some of the new monuments no longer exist. Some of them are not well kept. And last week I visited Kami ruins, and I was quite saddened that the stones are falling off. And as a Kalanga person, I have an interest because the Kami ruins were built by my forefathers. One man called Nkami, who people have now called Kami. And it's said that when you get there, people who go to see the place, and there seems to be lack of supervision because the people then go on top of the building or the rocks and take pictures, and most of the times the rocks are falling away. And I hope the National Museum and Monuments is going to actually make sure that they restore that place and they put measures in place, that there's supervision when people visit that area, because in a few years' time we'll be talking about ruins that are no longer there. This is how most of these sites disappear. In Plumtree, there's a place called Luiswingo, which was not kept properly, and young boys who had their cattle take the stones there and do this and that, and it's now only a quarter of the ruins that are left. So these are quite interesting and very important sites that they need to be preserved. You also talked about music, which is something that plays a big role, and before you have young people and even older people who are into music, and everyone wants to have their song played or in the US market. How easy is that?
Well, I suppose it is just as easy as it is for any other musician. Breaking into the music scene is incredibly difficult. So it's not more difficult because someone's Zimbabwean. It is just difficult because there is a proliferation of voices. There are a lot of people out there that really want to become famous musicians. And so one of the things that we are working on at the US Embassy is helping emerging musicians and artists navigate some of that, helping them learn the business a little bit, learn how to protect their music through copyright, how to collaborate with other artists, how to meet the right people, because a lot of so many things, it comes down to who you know. So helping people make those connections. We have lots of different programs and projects to help emerging, even authors, working with, painters and all sorts of other artists. We were lucky enough to visit the Zimbabwe Gallery, the National Gallery in Bulawayo yesterday, and met some of the artists in residence. There's some really great things happening, and we are just looking forward to helping people make those connections, learn from each other through exchanges.
Still in the theme of young people, music and education, I know every year a lot of young people apply and go to America for education, and others are looking for those opportunities. What do you have for young people? What are some of the opportunities?
So many. So in terms of studying in the United States at an institution, either for your undergraduate or graduate work, we have an incredible program called Education USA. And so people in Harare, in Gweru, in Bulawayo can stop by the American Corners, reach out to the U.S. Embassy for counseling on how to find a good U.S. university, how to find funding, and go through the whole process. So we have a 5-step program for the Education USA. Additionally, we have the Young African Leaders, or YALI program, has both the Mandela Washington Fellow program, which is the applications are open right now. They opened in August and will be open until September 13th. So we encourage everyone who is interested in applying for that fellowship to go to the site, go now. You can find it from our website, or even just looking at Mandela Washington Fellowship. You can apply now. We encourage people to look it up look at the requirements, the qualifications, and start working on their applications now, because so many applications are not considered because they're either incomplete or they're not very well thought about. The essays are extremely important. We need to have all of our applicants demonstrate that they are leaders, that they are currently leaders, what they have accomplished, but also what is their vision for the future. So they need to demonstrate that they are already a leader, they've accomplished something in their community, in an organization, but also that they have a broader vision for the future, that they want to still be a leader. Because the program is not just a training program for leaders, it is a great place to network, to learn from others, to build the networks that all leaders need. So again, we encourage people to get their applications in before September 13th, so they can be considered. We also have, the YALI program also has regional leadership centers. The closest one for here is in South Africa, so people can look up options for training there. So those are our general ones, but there are a lot of other programs, the Fulbright, for example, and then we have community engagement programs, we have programs for civil society, for various types of exchange. So we encourage people to check out the U.S. Embassy website for exchange opportunities that they can apply for.
Lizizwele laphana, the Mandela Washington Fellowship is open right now. We'll ask you to apply, especially nabantu bakubulawayo. Please apply, because I know when the names come out, saqasa complain ukuthi we are marginalized, we were not included. How come there are 2 people from Bulawayo? It's open right now. Head there and make sure that you take your time, you apply, and ask those who have been there to help you, write something, so that at least this year, the majority should come from Bulawayo, from Matebeleng, and so forth. So which one has complained about? Let's try and apply and see if we have good applications. Are they not going to be included? Are they not going to go? These are the opportunities that open doors to many other things, and I really encourage our young people to apply. I also encourage abatala, the older ones in their 40s and 50s, to help the young ones to apply. And I also encourage those who have been there, create WhatsApp groups, encourage people to apply, so that we always react. So here is an opportunity that I hope that when the deadline comes, a lot of us would have applied.
Can I make one more point about that? The NUST American Corner is having a session next week about giving you tips about how to apply. So feel free to visit the American Corner in Bulawayo, where alumni from the program, as well as the American Corner coordinators, will be helping people refine essays, give them tips about that. So yesterday I did have the opportunity to meet with several of the alumni who've returned in Bulawayo. They have incredible stories. They are really wonderful mentors. So yeah, like you said, encourage people to get out and meet them.
Yeah, so some of the guys who have gone there over the years, we have sent people, I think around maybe nearly 300, 400 Zimbabweans. And what have been the change?
So we have sent nearly 300 Zimbabweans to participate in the Mandela Washington Fellowship, and hundreds more through the regional leadership centers. The change is that they've built wonderful networks. They can bounce ideas off each other. They can work together when they have a similar goal. They can see how people across Africa, people in the United States, do things that, like if they have a challenge sometimes just talking to other people can help them get past their roadblock. They also provide mentorship and leadership. They guide other people in building their, in accomplishing their community goals and building their businesses. So we have alumni who've done incredible things. They have started great businesses that are working regionally, that have been recognized by the United Nations. We have civil society organizations that have lobbied to change policies and laws for the improvement of communities. So they have done incredible things too, and they're the future leaders of Zimbabwe.
I mean, you've been to other countries, you've worked in Fiji and many other places. What have been that one lesson for you personally, working with all these different countries, seeing different cultures and people?
I think maybe the major lesson that I have learned is that when people understand each other, when people have opportunity, there is nothing they can't do. I love working for the U.S. Department of State in the public diplomacy section because a big part of what we do is exchange. It's not about teaching one-way teaching. It's about exchange. It's about learning from each other, about learning where people come from, what motivates them, what's important to them. And because I think people are inherently interested in peace, they're interested in prosperity for everyone. And so I think there is a wonderful opportunity for all people to thrive and improve their situation through education, through learning, through collaboration. So I think knowing more about other people, knowing more about what they understand, what their motivations are, can help them realize their dreams. So I love being able to meet people, see their ambitions, and see what they're able to accomplish.
Okay, and lastly, I mean, you are here in Zimbabwe for a certain period of time, I guess. What is that one thing that you want to achieve while you're here?
It's the same goal that I have everywhere I go. I want to help people find their networks, help people find their people, help people find their passions and how they can accomplish them. We have numerous programs, we have numerous opportunities for people to find their passion and to accomplish their dreams. So I like to help people find their way to do that.
Thank you very much. That was Rebecca. She's the public diplomacy officer at the U.S. Embassy, and we talked about so many good ideas and good programs that they are doing. And of course, I want to emphasize that for those who want to join the Mandela Washington Fellowship, please don't miss the opportunity to apply. And there's a section this week, the American Corner, where you'll be given tips on how to apply and what to do. Please, let's take these opportunities because they also bring many opportunities. And I know a lot of young people who always complain that they don't have the opportunities, but when the opportunities do present themselves, sometimes we don't take them. So I hope they are going to have an overwhelming number of good proposals, of course, of good applications being sent for people to take the opportunities and join. So this was the Breakfast Club. My name is Zenzele Ndebele. Till you meet again in other programs, have a good day.